As we all know, there's a genocide going on in Nigeria currently. A genocide where both Christians and Muslims have been affected badly, but somehow the major targets are Christians. So I saw this post and a lot of posts where people come outside and say, why does God protect the church? He's not merciful, he's not powerful. So that if he's all powerful, he would have protected the church. You see, the problem here with humans is that we feel so special when trying to picture God, relate with God, or we've limited God from what He really is into something that we think He is. A lot of people are thinking God is something like maybe the way they are picturing Zeus, Odin, those what are those deities, those mythological figures that different religions have. They are thinking they don't understand what God is here. God is not a man that sits above the skies with a staff and a crown. Like when we say the King of Kings, you are not thinking maybe he's like a king. You are picturing a king-like figure. No, that's where the problem is coming from. The limitation. We are now limiting God from what He really is into something that we think He is. So I'm here to correct that. So first of all, let me tell you what God is. I'm going to use the word what here because when we say who, it makes us picture him as a person, like a man. You understand, like a spiritual maybe figure of man. That's what we're thinking is. So I'm going to use the word what God is. God is what keeps life going. It's what is the force of the universe that exists inside every living bodies, not just humans, the animals, the sea, the air, the trees, outer space, the other planets, the sun, the moon, gravity, the force. I don't know. The problem is we've limited God that we're not thinking he's a man. God is a trillion times far beyond what we are picturing. Whatever it is that you are picturing God to be in your mind is like we. Let me just make this clear. Like, well, according to Carl, the scientist Carl, is the humans fail to remember that they are just a tiny blue dot. The entire Earth is just a tiny blue dot in a galaxy of where there could be possibly a zillion to an uncountable other blue dots, not just blues, but an uncountable other color of dots as well that we don't know what they even are. Only God knows. I don't know if you understand it. We are now limiting God into something that we think He is. We have created a figure in our head. We think He is watching over us. He's just sitting above the earth, looking at what's going on. And when things go wrong, we ask ourselves, why do you need help? Why do you need interfere? That's the God you're picturing in your head, and that's not what. Again, I use the word "what" because God is not a man. God is the life that's inside of you, the life inside the ocean itself that keeps that life alive, the air you breathe that keeps the life inside you alive. That's what God is. He's a soul. He exists in every single one of his creations. He's a force, not a physical figure. He's the force that makes sure that there are fishes in the ocean. He's the one that puts humans here and make sure that there's water because he already knew we need water to survive. And there are also In the infinite galaxy where the earth is just a tiny blue dot, in every specimen that exists, every living specimen, there are galaxies and more worlds existing inside them. Take the human body or the body of any living thing on earth today, for example. There is life inside your life. Just as you are walking now, for you to be alive, there is life inside you. I'm not talking about the life you have that you are given. They are living things. There are other living things, microorganisms existing inside you without you even being aware that those life microorganisms are existing. If not, thank God for science. Science did not go against God, but rather to me, science proved how great and how powerful and how mysterious and how creative and how intelligent God is. The problem is we've limited him. We think he's a force in the universe that's supposed to be paying attention to us and all that. Paying attention to everything we do. So when yeah, Islamic jihadists are going to the church, they expect him to just come and interfere. No, God created us and gave us free will, just as He gave every other living thing free will. He gave the wind free will. That's why you see when the wind blows, sometimes it destroys. The wind gets angry because it's alive. The ocean sometimes floods entire communities, wipes out because it's alive. The mountains breaks, it cracks, the snow melts, but they never cease to exist. That's because they are alive. The storm, when it's stormy, lightning strikes. The clouds cry because it's alive. Now, here's what God is. God is what keeps everything going. He's not a man. God is not a man. And He created us, gave us free will, just like He creates. There could possibly be a billion to a zillion other more life forms outside of Earth. So what makes you think like God is just sitting on above the earth watching it? No, man. He just gave you free. We are just microorganisms. And we are just, let's say we are just microorganisms, pieces. We are just fragments, pieces of God Himself, not just humans, but everything in existence that humans, every living thing that human has ever discovered is a fragment, a piece of God, a soul. And this circle of life is endless. That's as science has proven, the soul doesn't die. The circle of life is endless. When it leaves this body, it doesn't end. Now humans are unable to discover where it goes as of moment. So that's where religion takes over and starts explaining some things, because science has not been able to know where the soul goes after it leaves, because the soul does not die with the body, just like in an animal. When an animal dies, the soul does not die with the body. That's why you see the ground first drains out, even after the body leaves, the ground drains out the liquid from it, then drains out the bones and turns it into dust. Everything becomes dust, because from dust you were taken, your body was taken from dust, not the life. So when you die, when the body dies, it becomes dust again. But the life that was put inside the body, that was breathed by God into every living being, is what never dies. It lives and continues. That where it goes is where we don't know.